Okay, what's going on, Grand Rising? Today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, and what we're looking at is the futures market, a little bit of dollar, and then SPY and QQQ. On TikTok and on Instagram Reels, I gave out a pre-market analysis, just basically going over what we're looking for upside. As you can see, the buyers from Wednesday open, 24,752, right? So overnight players are in a massive profit, 250 plus points. So if we deliver this liquidity of 25,050 here around equities open, you could see price fall back into initial balance and back inside demand. And then that's where I'd want to take more buy positions. And we also could see price sell off, to 24,450 or lower. So we'll see if we get the signal. And no trade's also a good trade. So let's see what we get. It's only Wednesday. We still have 2 days left in the week. So let's be patient. Let's see what we get. We got the gap up on SPY and QQQ over those highs of 602s, 603 areas. So, and seeing capitulation here right at the open for NQ. So we'll see what we get. As well as the comparative strength analysis of YM and ES starting to sell off already as well. So some key areas that we spoke about were if we sold back into the initial balance and deliver the 24,850 level, that could be a nice level. And then I really want to focus on that first H4 close and H1 close. So um, it's a pretty good breakdown, I'd say, on a 5 minute because you had a 5 minute lower low, so 820 to 825, and you had to push up. So that could have been a pretty good sell position with a 15-point risk just getting below the first 5 minute low, which would have been 24,950s here. So we'll just be patient and see. Mark that level. And then as soon as a high or low on New York is made, you want to make that understanding of where that's at. So just understanding where that New York high is right now. We are inside of an H1 supply, so let's look a little bit higher. I still think we'd have more upside. We'll see. YM and ES on the H1 are looking a little bit stronger, so just be patient. We'll see. Mhm. And that 24,980 level looks pretty good of a sell-off, but like I said, I'm going to be patient. Just wait for my move. See what this first 5 minute gives us. See if we break structure, if we hold support in the 950s. Looks like it's pushing lower though. Well, they are holding that 950 15 minute demand, but it's at the high of a range. But ES buyers are stepping in pretty quickly here. There is like a double top here for NQ as well. So when you look at like right here, so ES is looking quite strong. Let me do this really quick. And then we do have double top liquidity here at 25,024. So I'm just kind of being patient here on this. The 1 minute setup could have been nice, I would say, but like I said, I'm not trying to force anything like that, especially this early. Counting up from 80 level to New York high, because that's where I would place a risk. That could potentially be a good setup, I'd say on a 5 minute, but I'm gonna wait because I still think we have higher pricing since we didn't deliver that previous day high. Uh, just may not be right now. Okay, so NQ. 838 is delivering new 5-minute, 15-minute lows. So that's a good sign. Let's see. And what they're leaving behind, which is this, is perfect for more upside and a little bit later here. So I'm gonna mark that really quick as sell side liquidity to attack. And I think that we'll get 50% of this candle here. So like 24,800, 850s, and then we'll reaccumulate. If we don't, then we'll slip these double bottoms, go to 600s, and that could be crazy. So be patient. And I do want to take a picture of this over here. Study that first few minutes. YM staying pretty strong. I think 47,000 is a good level for that. So I really want to see how this first 4 hour and 1 hour close in about 20 minutes. Focus up here because that is a dump on liquidity here. Kind of like yesterday, since we do have liquidity at the 25,025s, if we get that sign of strength here, I may look to play something like this to go higher. But we'll see. I still think I want a little bit lower. Yes, still playing above that previous day high, and YM starting to catch buyers, so we locked in right here. So basically counting up from here. Like if this is the first push and it goes, fine. But if it comes back and it can give me the probabilities below 950s, then if it closes strong and then does that, then I do it. But if it just goes from here, that's fine. I'm good on that one. And then ES is about to make new highs. So let me see, it's getting peaky. times it. So we got about 1 minute before this candle closes. This will also be the first 15-minute candle, so it's looking pretty bare. Let's keep it going, maybe. Price capitulation here for 844, so it doesn't look strong. It's destroying those buyers. And ES is starting to turn into like a wick in that area, so be patient. Okay, one sign of strength candle here, so we do want to be focused up. First 15-minute close was bear, but it wasn't capitulation bear, so they might take off from here. ES new highs. Let's see here, 845. Yes. So I might have missed my signal right there, which is fine. 15-minute. Looks like it's going to capitulate again. That was super fast, so just be patient. 30-point risk right now. I'm good on that. 5-minute failing looks good. And take a screenshot of this too. And the reason why I didn't want to take that trade off that one signal is because it's at the high end of the range. So I want it to be in alignment with that higher time frame bias of accumulation and distribution. So now we really could see those inversion players in. And when it sinks, they're going to cover quick. They're going to have two options. They're going to get the break of 24,700, or they're going to cover in those 850s like we talked about pre-market. because that will align with my 4 hour 50% area and my 1 hour together, and take a screenshot of that too. Cool. Be patient here. ES is starting to get weak as well. That 67.42.50 was a liquidity sweep area. Just took basically ran the highs really quickly and then dipped. And that's good to see if we're gonna get what I think we're gonna get today. Now we did deliver that 24,900 level that had equal lows, so that'll be interesting too. But I still think we're got a good chance to fall some more. The location of the higher time frame just doesn't support going higher yet to me. Buyers are still holding up that ES above previous day highs, so and there's a new HOD 67.42.50, so new sell side liquidity. Now, if we get what we're getting here, right, I want to start looking because this could start to actually frame up because buyers are still holding up the area and they've swept some people. So if it just takes off, I don't care about trades like that. So H1 starting to turn into a wick. 4 hours starting to turn into a wick with that continuation off the demand. So might be a little something here. We'll see. If it comes back and plays into our hand, then cool. So something like this more. Let's try to do like, let's just say this, count from the risk. So something more on these lines, then I'd play it. All right, if it goes like that to here. But anything, maybe here and then maybe one here, but the risk would change dramatically if you do this. So I'd rather it be here. And if it doesn't do that, like somewhere in this area, then I'm good, essentially. ES is showing lots of strength right there, uh, which makes sense because that level, like I said, was that previous day high level. So if we can get that pullback into our 5 minute area, then I may attempt to attack those 24,925s up to 25,025. So it's like a 100 point move. But this is clearly showing me on that 5 minute that buyers are in. So if it does pull back now, this would be, like I said, the area I would probably attempt. Let's see how it closes though. Take a picture of this in that 1 minute. That 1 minute play was really nice, to be honest. I mean, after the draw on liquidity, but I'm being patient here. And ES is 15 minute is piercing higher like the bodies. So that is showing me some signs of strength. And H1s look really strong. So so they're back up to that New York Open. So I mean they're pretty much that was pretty much a great move. But like I said, I just personally wasn't seeing that as something I wanted to play. So they reach for the 25,025 highs, then that was a 100 point move, like I said, in 10 minutes. So, I mean, I'm not gonna try to force it. I'd rather wait for them to come get these buyers if they do. Let's see how that 4 hour closes. And that New York high, we can move that because they came for that. So that's new liquidity and signs of strength to me. If they break through the level, doesn't mean it just means anybody that shorted that New York and guessed, they basically just robbed them. So they are reaching for those new highs. So that might have been the balance, guys. I mean, had the 5 minute dump candle. I'm gonna be patient. So I'm gonna move this because they clearly are going crazy on this. So, and they're gonna go higher. Remember, noobs buy tops and sell bottoms. So if they're getting ready to force out liquidity and people are trying to sell this, they're crazy. And SPY and QQQ are showing strength, and they had gapped up above old price. So let's see how this 4 hour closes in 1 hour. 4 hour closed with strength, 1 hour was a wick. Let me take a screenshot of that. So that shows me a little bit more signs of strength direction wise. And we're moving into that daily supply. So okay, so we have new highs on day. So we just want to put that into here like so. And just know that we have that new high on day here at 9 a.m. So looks pretty bullish. So that move, like I said, down might have been the move. But you're not gonna take every trade sometimes. It's pretty sad though, because that was a good one, I think. Uh, Okay, so that'll draw on liquidity here. So let's stay focused. Looking at ES, 1 hour and 4 hour, and YM, we're coming in on that 47 level we talked about. So 47 was the level we're looking for, and then ES supply is 6,770. So I mean, we're pushing right now. I'm not gonna force my way into that. Now, if we scoot from 25,050 up to 25,250 today, I'd be salty. Not for the runner trades, but for this one. Well as SPY and QQQ are really strong on their range. So buyers just pumping it right now. That ES level we're looking for is 6760 or 60, that to be exact. It's 6757, which is about to, it just delivered. So they're really pumping it now. Ah, so salty, but can't be that salty. 24,920s, but now we're above 25,075. So I mean that's over 175 points in 15 minutes. That's fire. All right, we just delivered 25,100. Let me mark that here.
Be the highest quality.
And we're still pushing here very fast. 25,100 baht to deliver. SPY and QQQ running 600 went up to 606s. So then SPY 670s, yeah, 670s about to load. So I didn't like that number 666 they had it on. And then they delivered the 46,900 level on YM. So I mean, when you look at the higher time frame of that, I mean that's right inside that daily supply. So anybody buying in there at this point would be crazy. Dude, the push on this is crazy right now. Salty. If they deliver 25,200, I'm kind of salty because I would have definitely wanted to take that ride up. Let's stay focused up here. Okay, we've hit that 25-1 whole level, and that's a pretty good pullback on that sell side range. So I'm gonna be locked in here. See if we get any signs of weakness here. So we're still like 250 points away from supply, so I'm not really stressing it too crazy. All right, let's see what we get here. Now, if they break two New York highs, for me, it's kind of like, obviously that range will continue, but we'll watch and see if we get our signal here. We want to be thinking with the risk in mind into entry. So if we get the signal, we are inside daily supply. So we locked in here. And same thing, it's like I want to count from, let's just do this. And then you want to do so somewhere in here, and then we'd be attacking New York open. All right, so are getting back down into like 50% of this area or getting below this area if the signal presents. So like this is what I'm going to focus on here in case this actually presents. Good weakness there. Still pretty strong on the small time frames, but yeah, still looks pretty strong up to that supply, so we'll see. I don't see it right there, so be patient. Kind of midi. Just the bias is still strong. Yeah, still strong. 6,770 is kind of like the level I'm looking for there. A small volume attempt this level. Okay. I like the risk on it, so. And then what we're trying to do is get inside demand. And so we can slip this no wick candle. Then, the buyers at the New York low essentially is here now. right? So New York open, and then this is the New York low. So that's an area of liquidity as well. So this basically this whole level would be an area of liquidity if they slip lower from this area here. But it did fit my framework of what I wanted. And then when you look at a 1 minute, which I don't usually do that, I don't need to, I can see the area is pretty good. I could have got a better entry, I guess, at 21.1, but I still would put the risk in the same place regardless. So let's see. If this one fails, I may take one other one, but I don't really want to do that unless it gets above 25,200. So sixes. And then knowing where that 1 to 2 is going to be like 25,032s, but it's not really breaking down. So those buyers are stepping back in. It seems like we'll see. If they force out and run up to 25,200, I'm going to take another trade there for sure. Buyers are strong. I mean, there's a lot of people in overnight buys too. That's where I'm kind of looking for maybe a quick fall from the whole level, but and then giving it that edge room. But we'll see. Those buyers are still strong. Not really seeing it break down, so that's 5 minutes looks strong. They start peaking above that 20,000, 25,100, they're gonna go higher. And then I'll wait for supply alignment. They got 1 minute before this 5 minute closes, so we'll see. It looks strong. Looks like they're gonna push us out. Yes, it's 5 and 15 are strong. Too much heaviness to the upside. But depends if this candle can act as a force up candle that doesn't go, then we'll see. But it just looks bullish. Up to 25.2, which is the level I wanted, so we'll see. Yes, it's 15 and 5 are strong, so it just looks like they're gonna deliver higher here. Yeah, so they're pushing it a little bit higher, so that's fine. Like I said, I want to play that 25.2 level, but also I want to be locked in still because this is a grab on liquidity. So I should bring that back and just move this to the right. Now, if they do like the other day and they just literally take that liquidity and dump, I'm gonna freak out. ES isn't showing that strength right now, so like 4 hours that they can travel. So. And then I just want to have this ready, okay? Because my location I want would be like this, and I need to know how far 20-point risk is. So this is a 30-point risk, which I don't want that. But what I would accept is like a 20 or 25-point risk. So somewhere in here would be more reasonable. And then 1 to 3 getting below there, getting below New York Open is always the key. So somewhere like this. Let's see how the candle closes, because if it doesn't give us, not, it's going higher high, higher low, and just pushing. So unless it gives me the sign that it's going to do that, I'm just trying to make sure I have it framed up in case. So I don't have to guess. And SPY and QQQ still look pretty strong, so they're slowing down though. So okay, so this is going higher. Like I said, this isn't considered a New York high anymore because we've taken that high. So this would become right here invalid until we get to me like another signal that we want to take. So and we're looking at like 25,200, maybe 25,250s. At some point, these buyers are going to take profit potentially. If they got in at 24,750, which most of them probably got 850s, but let's say that they got that area, you're looking at a 500-point push up to 25,250s. So let's stay patient here. Bracket tool up off of a candle we would frame. Know where that risk would be. Know where that TP would be. For sure, a good cut spot, right? So keep that in our minds. We want them to play our game. We don't want to play their game. And so now this would look like this instead. If it was to play out, I'd be using this candle here. So just want to make sure I reframe that. Now, if price can dip below it, come back, that'd be what I'd be looking for. But still looking for, like I said, 25 200, possibly 25 180s to deliver if we start to do that here. And ES is starting to slow down, so we want a 15-point risk if we're going to take that. So anything above 102s here. Okay, it's starting to break down. Now we don't want to just force it. We want to wait and see if it'll come back to us, and then we would take it. And I want to see a sign of weakness on the 5. Because if it falls super fast, then it's going to fall into our hands for continuation to me. So I wouldn't be upset if it fell like to where I couldn't get a chance or something. 16, 15. Okay. That 5-minute close, was that a 5-minute close? No. To 20-point risk from 97s. So that still fits our game, but want this to be a little tighter if it's going to work. We've got about a minute before this 5-minute candle closes and we go into the next 15 minutes here soon. So just be patient here. ES is still showing weakness here.
Well, months on your whitest line. Just one.
Based on that 5-minute, how it's closing, it doesn't look like it's going to close weak. So I'm being patient here. ES is starting to break down though. So let's focus here. 5-minute weakness there. Anything above 97s is pretty good there. So let's see how that plays out. Looks pretty good. Got a good area. So if we can break below before going higher, then, you know, we'll look for the New York Open area. Those 5 minutes aren't weak though. We'll see. Looks pretty good actually. Let's see. If they can slip below here, then we could start to like taper it off a little bit. Like so, I meant over here, sorry, like over here. And so we'll see if that's the case or not. But I'll accept the risk on this. Because if we capitulate fast down into that demand or New York Open, then that'll be very interesting, especially the 24,900 level. And ES is weak, so they're looking pretty weak here at that 25-1. Let's see. We'll see how this 5 minute closes. If it can break lower than the 070s, then I think there's maybe a chance that we revisit the New York Open. Uh-oh, looks pretty good actually. Higher time frame support's a good idea too. I mean, I like how they have a wick on the 8 to 9 candle, so could be a lot of people stuck at like 25,050 possibly if this drips. This 15 is getting ready to close as well, so if they both close bearish, I mean, there could be a chance that it drips a little bit back to demand. Let's see. It closed bearish. Let's see. still holding that demand, but on the 5 minute, but it's a high end area. So ES is starting to break down here. So it's not falling, but it's just not going higher. So that 5 minute is still pretty strong. So 5 minutes still staying really strong right there. So they may want, like I said, that 200 level or higher. I mean, it might just be bullish. We'll see. Okay, so we're just battling here at this area. Let's see what happens. I really want those 24 nines to deliver. That would be awesome. And lower would be 24,850. So ES is pretty heavy on that sell side right now. So let's see. ES can slip back to those 750s and lower, 6750s and lower. Maybe they capitulate out here, but those buyers are up. I mean, over 300 points from overnight. So, and then reason being why I have New York as an area is like if buyers step back in New York Open, it'll be like 25,000 level, 25 or 24,975s because inside that 15-minute demand. But the likelihood of them, if they just capitulate here, I think they'll take the 24,900 level, which would be awesome. Getting kind of interesting here. Okay, they're starting to break down slightly. I mean, until we break this level here and actually break it and close body candles, I'm not looking at anything like this. That's serious. So 1 to 2 would need to be us breaking. We need to break those lows if it's gonna go. They're holding it up, man. Make a decision, markets. Come on. It looks like a crown. It looks like crown forming, but you gotta see that break lower for it to actually be the trade. Yes, it's slowly falling, but it's not like dramatically doing anything. They're holding up this high-end demand, which is trash to me. I wouldn't personally buy myself there, so okay. Another 5 minute close. It was weak. So let's see. You need it to slip. ES still looks weak, so I'm gonna keep watching that a little bit here. So 67.40s on the ES, if it slips back to where they broke that liquidity, that's kind of the same thing I'm looking for here. It's like 25.030s and lower. They're holding up that demand and high end. Come on, guys. At the 80 level too. Come on, guys. Rip them. This 1 hour has what? Oh, 3 minutes as well. So let's see. It's holding up strong there at the 80 level, which is ES is holding those 750s as well. So it's just kind of like, we'll see. 5 minutes is strong inside that high end demand. And if the H1 wants to close above the 100 level, then it's kind of like, you know, that's pushing pretty strong there. And ES is holding those 67.50s. So just a continuation type of trade, it seems like. Now on that buy side, if you had anything below 950s or below New York Open, you're thinking, if this extends higher, you could secure the 670s. All right. So we'll see. So this hour closes. Close above the 100s. That's not as great. ES closing above 67.50 as well. So unless it capitulates fast, then it's going to rally. 5 minutes are closing so strong right now. Just gotta see if the 100 level is gonna fail or not. I should have a good idea between now and 10:15. So lots of liquidity to me at 67.25 on ES. So fast move down to New York, and I'm definitely gonna cover some of the position. This looks strong here. GQQ looks pretty strong as well. So I mean that just looks strong here in the first few minutes of 10. Now, if they slip this pretty quickly, this is a classic example of noobs buy tops and sell bottoms. ES is starting to break down below those 50s. This might get interesting. Let's see. And YM did deliver those 900s, so should see some buyers possibly taking profit from overnight on that position as well. Very interesting now. Let's see. Just can they slip the 5 minute area, right? The 25,070s is the key. And they can they close below it and go into those 25,000 whole levels. Pretty interesting 5 minute price here, if it can slip. They're still fighting in the same area, but we'll see. ES looks pretty weak. Like I said, 15 and 5 right now. So to see it slip back down into those 734s, if we break down here, would be interesting. But they're holding up quite strong. That structure is holding bullish at the high end, which is, with the higher time frame bias, I mean, we still have more upside to go. Like I said, the 25-2. So it's a little frustrating because it's definitely holding. They're getting pretty strong there. Come on, buddy. They've got to be just demolishing people who are playing like 100 tick and 1 minute charge right now. Seeing them not being able to print over that 100 level is pretty good. It's just, can we get the breaker structure lower? And these high time or these 1 minute, 100 tick players that are buying at the highs, let's see if they grab them or not. Taking a look at ES, we are starting to print below those 6750s. And then you're starting to see YM kind of fall off from those 900s slightly. So let's see if we can get it. That's a good sign right there. ES is starting to slip as well. So we may have something on our hands here. And I really like those like New York Open 950s and they're like nine. There we go. That's a good slip right there. That's a good slip right there. Okay. So that just shows me on my others, I can go 1 to 2. On here, I'm going to accept risk down the New York Open um, and see what we can get here. See if we can capitulate out here. Pretty nice move here. We're over that 1 to 2. I don't really want to trail this right now personally until we get to like below here. So you get the alert. If it goes below the 50 level, 25.050s, then I'm more likely to want to cover that. And look, oh, it's a different one. That's not the right one. But that's not it either yet. But the ES is starting to slide back into that demand as well. So just gotta be patient here and see if we're gonna push on down here. That's not the one yet. That's just for the same one that we have. Now, what I want to do is really watch this 5 minute, and I'm gauging, these New York players. So if they just take it and take it right back on up, that is what it is. So I may do this, just put to sell, so one buy stop, just to kind of protect some of it and reduce that risk down a little bit. But I want to keep this same area that we've been working. I don't want to take myself out of the area. But that's just to kind of protect myself if price does come back up very quickly. Now, ES is falling pretty good back into demand. It's nothing crazy, right? But I think if it can slip, it could slip back to like 67.05 if it really slips, like, or at least below that 67.23s. See how this 5 minute closes. Now, if I didn't experience that first loss earlier, then I probably just accept this whole thing. But that way I kind of reduce it down just in case. Because they get easily, like I said, I usually that's like a 1 to 2 setup there, breaking that 5 minute low. So, but if we can take these three down to New York Open, we're looking at 98s down to 24.98s, which is about a 100 point move, which is pretty good. Let's be patient. Starting to slide here, back to New York Open. Yeah, so watching this 5 minute close, right? I want to see if it can, it's breaking down at an 80 level, algo level to me. So I like that. Let's just see if we go for the New York low at this point, because either we're going to go inside that demand or we're going to go for that New York low and take those 900s. Unless they just, rally it back up. I'm just saying downside target areas. Between now and 10:30, right? This 15-minute candle, we'll know if we're going back to demand and point of interest. See what this area is too. So that just kind of secure that right there, just in case too. We want to start working it as it works in our favor too. So ES starting to get weak. If we can break these 50 levels fairly, pretty good, then I think we'll capitulate down to that point of interest. And we'll want to protect or pay ourselves at that area, or we will look for those 900s to be delivered. But this is kind of the area right here I want to see if buyers are going to step in. I'd want to see it lower than this level here, that where they broke the original high of the day. So essentially you're looking at like a fib retracement like this. Okay, I gotta update those, but basically a retracement into this demand candle. YM looks pretty bearish from that 46.9, and then that ES taking that no wick H1 area, the 6760 area. Like I said, the overnight buyers are probably taking profit because 6684 was a daily open, so maybe they're taking profit, and that's why we're seeing it relieve a little bit. Now, if we're just going to continue bullish, they will step back in here, essentially like the support resistance type area like this. So we'll see what they do. But we get to New York Open, I'll protect myself completely on this setup. That's not the one we're looking for yet. I just switched windows. Like I said, if buyers step in here at the 50 level, it is what it is, but I think it's kind of high. Okay, so those buyers are kind of stepping in at that 50 level, but let's stay patient. Want to see them, give back in demand if they're gonna and see buyers step in at a specific level. Yes, the support resistance, like liquidity sweep area, 6740s is being respected. So, and then YM's previous day high that they took before the session started is also doing the same thing. So, they're kind of stepping in there. My eyes are focused. I'll show you guys this. My eyes are focused right here, right above that New York. They can slip that area right there. That's what I'm kind of looking for. But they are holding that 50 level. Pretty nice. Very nice, actually, unfortunately. So if we get that continuation, I mean, it'll happen here. I mean, this will be the area. So, and they won't give a chance. They'll just run it. So
Frustrated growth with watered down trades. Todd's got two times.
if we can respect this 80 level and just drip, that's going to be amazing. Because like I said, I'd rather see sells or buyers step in inside demand, not really just in a free fall type of area. All right, starting to break right there. That looks pretty good. They can slip below here and back and below those 020s. That's pretty fire. Just gotta be patient. Good 5 minute close of weakness right there at the 50 level. So see if we can, like I said, capitulate down into this area, what they're gonna do. ES had a 5 minute close lower as well. So lots of liquidity under those 67.24s, but starting to slip. Looks pretty good. And get that, like I said, that New York Open area. That'd be great. ES is breaking down right now. So back into New York Open, back into the demand. But there's a double bottom under the 67.24s. Looks like really interesting. So that's a really good sign. We're breaking down now into New York Open, guys. So fast move down as well. The timing of it looks pretty good. Once we get to that blue line, so that New York Open is a point of interest, you could protect or pay yourself, right? So what that means is you could pull one, you could start to move it, go break even, whatever you want to do. Me personally, like I said, I want to get inside this demand area. I want to get into this 129 area. I want to slip this 5 minute area right here, potentially. Now, this could be it right here. But like I'm saying, is once you get to New York Open, I'm probably gonna go ahead and protect that 15-minute area and go break even on this setup. But I want to get to that area first. And pretty much in my eyes, they destroyed 1 minute players and 100 tick players. So let's see. All right, getting right into the area we want. Remember, we want New York low because that's where buyers have their stop loss most likely. Now, if they bought a little late, they bought in here, right? And so now we're really slipping the area that we wanted, which is awesome. And ES is getting ready to take that low. So what we want to do is watch, is ES going to diverge? Is it going to take the low or is it going to hold that New York Open? And same thing here, right? So we tapped New York Open. So I would say essentially now you can protect the trade if you like. So like I'm gonna move that down just slightly and then move this to here, right? Because there's no reason to take a loss on this setup at this point, but also don't want to move it too close to where I just take myself out of opportunity. So next area we're looking for, I just want to show that here where my eyes are focused, is here. Okay, we've delivered here. Now I'm wanting to see it get below here. Okay, and that's going to be 50% of the demand candle. So if it starts to fail and just capitulate there fast, it's going to take that New York low fairly quickly. And futures I'll be good probably for the day if we can do that. And ES just I got, that liquidity of those double bottoms. I got that alert ready to go off as well. And then taking a look at YM, I mean, it failed that area great after buyers took profit. So pretty good area. Let's see if we can get this delivery. Now, as we push this area here, I'm going to secure this area here, okay? Because we're at that New York Open. So I want to at least go ahead and start to secure down at least the 15-minute area here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Secure some of that 15-minute area. And we've gotten to what we wanted, right? Even with that loss that we experienced. So if we can just go ahead and reach for the area that we want, we'll be out of there probably today. That's pretty freaking good, dude. That's pretty good, and I can't lie. That's a pretty good move. That was ES's new lows. Okay, so um, let's go ahead and secure some more of this down here to the breakout area. Okay, and then we're looking to see how this 5 minute candle is going to close. Excuse me, because we're inside where now shorts would cover, demand buyers would actually step in a reasonable area. And so if they're not going to, then we've secured it down to get to the New York low. Okay. Still seeing weakness on the 5, which is awesome. So we want to see that New York low deliver. And then we're looking again, just to have you show you guys where my eyes would be if it does deliver lower than that. I don't really need much lower than that for me today. Um, would be looking here. Okay. And I do have that CFD position as well. So gotta be patient and be paying attention here. Now, this 5 minute has a minute and 40 seconds before it closes. So the way it's already pushing down, I want to go ahead and secure more of that 5 minute area. Okay, because it's inside demand and starting to show a little bit of strength. It's getting close. Now we're in the area though of TP. So I mean, like I said, I might close it down if we deliver back up higher than this. She can be out of here for the day. Because buyers are stepping in here at that New York. So just got to be patient here and see what they do with the 5 minute close. If that 5 minute closes below 25,000, there's a good chance they continue lower. If not, then they may stay right here in this area. So we'll see. Let's watch the close here. Close below New York Open as well. So there's a good chance they run for those lows. Let's see if they can do it. Looks pretty good to drop. So all right, they're failing at New York Open, which is awesome. Going for those New York lows. Let me take a screenshot of this on the other side here. And then ES, I want to take a screenshot of this too. Like I said, I'm looking for I'm looking for those 900s to deliver. So essentially if it breaks out, I will just start to cover that down very quickly. And so since we're getting that push lower into the demand, right? The 24,950s, that's a really nice fall and it's moving fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure New York Open. All right, there's no reason not to. Yeah. So we've exceeded, right, our 1 to 8. And so to kind of get an idea, we're wanting to see if we can get down into here. But I want those 900s potential here. It would be awesome. So really just kind of want to see how this 15-minute candle closes if it can do it. And then we're slipping back into the area I talked about, which is the H1 demand, so like the 24,850s. So we'll see what they do. Looks like a good slip here. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't reach for those New York lows, but this is the idea, okay? You want to see a buyer step inside this demand, which I don't think they will because of how high it is on the range and how much we've been up overnight, okay? If you start to see reaccumulation on your smaller time frame, which I am watching on another window, then that's what I'd be looking for. But I'm looking for that slip, guys. Okay, so if it starts to react fairly quickly here, then I would want to take that out. So right here, what I'm going to do is move this to where my TP was. So if it does come back up, it at least, does it in here, and I still get a good amount of the expected value. And then I would say for the rest of this trade, if price was to come back above New York at this point, right, I would not want to accept that. So we'll go ahead and secure that as well. Wait, just watching that 5 minute area, right? I want to see if they're going to slip it here. Nice capitulation here. Just pretty freaking good move, dude. As long as we don't see any 5 minute strength here, it's looking pretty good. Um, you could secure down a little bit more, but I want to see and give it a little bit of room here. So looking at that 15, it looks pretty good. So just don't want to put it too close yet, okay? Which I think we can really slip. Got 5 minute reactions. They're kind of reacting in that area. Not really seeing any strength yet. Um, but if you keep seeing wick tails, it just looks more than likely on a 15 to and the H1 to want to take that wick and slip to like 68s, but so I'm gonna move it just a little bit lower, like right here. Very nice. Very nice slide right here. Let's go. Like I said, I do like that overnight imbalance as well. So so 5 minute has just a few seconds to close. I'm gonna start securing even more, right? I want to see it slip the area. Another good 5 minute break. So I think we're gonna get that area, guys, for sure here. Okay, we're getting that New York low tap. There we go. Oh, that was fire. Secure the bag here. All right, no reason to let anything else happen. Secure the bag here. And we will rock. Okay. So for futures, we're about out of there for today. We just want this level here, so we'll leave it like this for today. Oh, I didn't make that with my STB and so chunk that smaller. We just want that New York low. That was New York low. So let's see if they can kind of reach. We want this level right here for today, and we're out of there. Just be patient here. Okay, very close to our level here. Too long on this 5 minute for me, the way it's wick tailing. So let's see here. Come on, guys. So we're just looking for this level here, the 68s or 69s. So for our full TP that we wanted today. So if we deliver that, that might be where I actually just execute because, like I said, I have that CFD move. I had one small loss, so just didn't see why they won't reach that area, but we'll see. Yeah, they're kind of stepping in there at our level, so
Order filled.
we'll call it that for the day. That's good. So if they do continue lower, we do have that CFD position. I wanted to take that TP a little bit below that New York low. So if they continue down here, it is what it is. You can't complain about that. Um, Awesome move. They're down today, I would say. Let's take a look at just the overall markets here really quick before we hop off. And I just want to show this, which is the 1 hour here. So ES, right, broke down. Like we talked about the higher time frame. Oh, excuse me. I was like, did they deliver just now? So like we talked about in that higher time frame, YM delivered the 46.9, which we knew the overnight buys would probably take some profit there. Same thing here, right? ES delivered the no wick 1 hour candle, which was here, right? Once it delivered there, you didn't see buyers stepping in. We kind of figured that it would, fall lower. And then the same thing with NQ, right? We started seeing, okay, we made that new high from previous day high, and that buyers were up from 24,750 up to 25,100. So that's like what, you know, 350, and the average buyer is probably here. So about 250 points. So now you can see buyers are really stepping in. Why? Because shorts are covering like myself, right? Which makes a lot of sense to see shorts cover under old lows. So great day. Hope you guys enjoy this recording. The patience, took a small L at the beginning and then bounced back super. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the recording. Have a good rest of your day.